Hi, welcome back. Our previous lesson was on exit and entry in the short and long run. Today we'll be moving on to barriers to entry. Barriers to entry are obstacles that make it difficult for new firms to enter a particular market. A firm's long run profitability depends on barriers to entry because they can affect the firm's market share and the market power. It is therefore in the firm's best interest if they can develop certain strategies to deter other firms from entering the market. How can existing firms stop other firms from entering a particular market? Some of the strategies that a firm can adopt to stop other firms include the demand side strategy. So some demand side strategies that firms can adopt to restrict entry include switching costs, which serves as barrier to entry by making it difficult or expensive for customers to move from one established provider to a new one. For instance, you can charge a consumer a particular penalty fee if they switch providers before a certain period elapses. So this discourages customers from trying new competitors even if the offer is better than what they are currently on. As a result, new firms that enter into this market must invest more to overcome these barriers, making entry riskier and less attractive. So, firms can also use their reputation and goodwill to keep consumers loyal. So, whenever consumers have a good experience with you, they are more likely to be loyal to you, even if your competitors are charging a price that is slightly lower than yours. So, a second strategy that the firms can adopt is the supply side strategies. So, most times, the supply side strategies involve the development of unique cost advantage with the aim of being able to cut prices below the minimum average cost. So, this gives the existing firm an advantage because if another firm attempts to enter the industry, the existing firm will always be able to undersell it. So, underselling it simply means that being able to charge a lower price. So, most of the supply side strategies focus on cost advantage, being able to produce at a very low cost, which gives you an advantage that you can be able to charge a lower price than what most firms are charging. So, this can give you an upper hand over your competitors. So, some supply side strategies that firms use to develop unique cost advantage include learning by doing. So, learning by doing simply means that getting more efficient as you produce over the years. So, this leads to lower cost of production. Now, there's also mass production. So, mass production usually leads to a lower cost per unit produced. If your cost per unit produced, which is your average cost, is much lower than what other firms' average cost is, then you have an advantage to be able to charge a lower price and still maintain your profit margin. So, the next thing that firms can do is research and development. So, research and development is just looking for other ways to produce at a more efficient level or at a lower cost, which gives them an advantage to charge a lower price. Relationship with suppliers as well as access to key inputs. These are all supply side strategies that firms can adopt to give them a unique cost advantage. So, this cost advantage will make it difficult for new firms to compete with existing firms, which can restrict entry into this market. Now, the next strategy is looking at government policies. The government can also implement policies to deter entry into a particular industry. It's been known over the years that state and local governments have commonly assigned exclusive franchise to businesses in a specific market. Now, an example of this is maybe taxi and bus companies or even cable television companies or electricity or natural gas, among others. Governments have also provided patent rights to some inventors of new products in order to encourage innovation. This patent right may afford their holder the right to be able to be the only producer for a given period. For instance, some pharmaceutical companies as well as some technological companies have these patent rights where they are the only producers of a particular good over a period of time. So these regulations, they make it difficult for new businesses to enter into the market, which restricts entry. The next thing that can restrict entry into a particular market is entry deterrence strategy. So firms can adopt strategies to convince their rivals that they will crush them when they enter into the market. So this is like building a reputation that if you enter into this market, I have the ability to crush you. So one of the things that existing firms can do to stop other firms from entering the market is to build excess capacity so that potential rivals will expect a fierce competition. Now, another thing is to also increase their financial resources. So, increasing their financial resources is to signal their ability to engage in a prolonged and costly fight. So, this is more like building up their reputation so that firms that are considering entering into the market might reconsider. A firm's reputation for fighting can also be an important signal to deter new firms from entering into the market, because if you have successfully crushed previous rivals, the new firms entering the market can expect that you do have the ability to crush them if they enter the market. And this can serve as a significant barrier to entry. So this is all that we have on our lesson on barriers to entry. Our next lesson will be an introduction to consumer choice. If you enjoyed today's lesson, consider subscribing. Thank you.